Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for visiting the YouTube channel for bestbiblecommentaries.com. This video is part 2 in a series I'm doing called How to Save Money on Biblical Studies Resources, or how to hopefully save money on Biblical Studies Resources, including Bible commentaries. If you haven't seen part 1, I'll put a link in the description box down below. I encourage you to watch that video first and then come back to this video. In the first video, I shared 4 ideas on how to save money on Biblical Studies Resources, and in this one, I'm going to share 4 more ideas. Before I do that, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and feel free to leave a comment or ask a question down below. 2 of the ideas I have to share with you in this video regard electronic resources, and 2 are related to hard copies. One that's related to hard copies involves Amazon, and the other one, it actually came to mind when I recently stumbled across an email that Richard Bauckham sent to me a few years ago, and he mentioned something, and I thought, that is kind of a potentially a money-saving technique. So I'm going to mention that as well, and I'll get to that in just a moment. I appreciate everyone's ideas that they've been sharing in the comment section of the post I made, and also in part 1 of the video on how you save money on Biblical Studies Resources. I've gotten some ideas from you guys, and so I really appreciate that. By far, the number 1 technique that people use to save money is utilizing electronic materials, buying electronic materials. And you not only save on shipping costs, but a lot of publishers will significantly discount books if you're buying them electronically through software or through electronic readers. That's not always the case. I'll give you an example of that in just a minute, but it's often the case, and as many of you have pointed out, if you wait for sales, you can usually get really good deals. And I have to admit that I'm not an expert on the biblical software technique, because for so long my work during the day has been in front of a screen. And so when I'm reading books, I have often just been going to hard copies, because I've preferred hard copies just to give my eyes a little bit of a break. So, and so I'm not as up to date. I don't know if anybody remember, but the Bible software that I used most extensively was called Bible Works. I don't know if anybody, if you remember that, leave me a comment. We'll celebrate our old age together. But in seminary, it was just all about Bible Works. I think it was 5.0 that was out at that time. Cost like $300 if I remember right. It was fantastic. I loved it. So anyway, there's other tools that you can access online now that a lot of people use. So the first is Logos Bible Software. This is, I think they're probably the leader in this space, and I'm not going to do tutorials or anything. I just thought I would show you a little bit just what the website looks like. So I'm not going to go into it at all, but it looks like they often have sales, and they have sales on some really good series as well, consistently. Not all the time, but consistently. Another one that people mentioned is Accordance Bible Software. I'm really not the guy to explain the difference between the 2 versions of software. It looks like they have some kind of November sale going on right now, so this would be a good website to check out. I think, you all tell me if I'm wrong, but those of you who aren't based in the United States and you might have difficulty getting books shipped to you, or it just takes a long time, or it's just really expensive, I would think that software can be really helpful. Let me know if that's the case in the comment section. It makes sense to me, but maybe there's something I misunderstand. Another one that someone mentioned is Olive Tree Bible Software, and they have an app here. I think the other ones have an app too. This one's just front and center. One sale that I noticed right away on this website that's going on right now is the Tyndale Commentary Series, Old and New Testament volumes, full set, 63 volumes for $199.99. So it's a savings of 67%. I assume it's a savings of 67% on the hard copy price, but I'm not sure. Volumes in that series usually go for $20 to $25. So, $200 is a lot of money. But for those who are looking for the series and might like an electronic version, that could save you several $100s. So that's one. And like I said, by far in the comment section, using Bible software is the number 1 technique on how to save money. People mention buying used hard copies. I think that depending on the sale, The electronic versions might even be more, they might be cheaper than even buying used copies, that might factor in shipping and things like that. So a couple of examples that people left me in the comments. Someone got the Zondervan Exegetical Commentary series. That's this one right here. There's exegetical commentary. There's Old Testament and New Testament volumes. And they got the series for $200 and mentioned that there are 20 volumes in the series. Now, I'm assuming what they meant by that is volumes that are published so far. This series is not complete yet. I don't even think it's it's not even halfway yet. So what I think was meant is that there's 20 volumes out so far, and they got them for $200, so $10 a piece, which is an outstanding deal. So, really excellent. So volumes in that series can be upwards of $40 and higher. So to get all the volumes for $10 each is incredible. The evangelical, what is that? The ECC series, Evangelical Christian Commentary. Now I can't remember what it stands for. The ECC series, someone mentioned they got 13 volumes for $100. And again, I'm assuming that means the volumes that have been released so far, because the series is not complete yet. Another one is the B series from Warren Wiersbe. They got 50 volumes, so the entire set for $50. So that's a good deal. And the NICNT series, someone mentioned they got the NICNT series. This series, 27 volumes for $199. That's incredible, because this one right here is over $50 new. I know that for sure. So that's really incredible. That must have been a pretty amazing sale. Someone else mentioned they got the Old Testament Library. Old Testament Library series, right, from John Knox Westminster for $99. That's 19 volumes for $99. So another version, another electronic format. This is the second idea now. So first idea, Bible software. Second idea is Kindle. Or in any e-reader, I guess, would be the idea. I just looked on Amazon just before I made this video, and I noticed that this series here, the NIV Application Commentary series, you can get all of Paul's letters for $134.99. So that comes out to about $13 a volume. This volume right here, I'd guess hard copy, brand new, I guess would be between $25 and $30. Without looking, that would be my guess, between $25 and $30. So that's a significant savings. One that I saw, and this is again just before I made this video, I just wanted to get a couple of examples. If I didn't have this one, I would jump at this, by the way. The Matthew volume in the EBC Revised series. It's written by D.A. Carson. It's one of the most well-reviewed commentaries ever. Most well-reviewed commentary volumes ever. So you can get the Matthew volume on Kindle for $14.99. That is amazing. That is a steal. If I didn't have it, I would definitely consider jumping at that. That's an amazing price. They're not all amazing prices, though. So I found this example as well. This is R.T. France's very well-reviewed Matthew volume in the NICNT series. So the Kindle version is $52, and the print version is $58. So, $6 savings plus shipping, I guess. So maybe a $6 to $10 savings on that one. So not a lot, but I don't know. Maybe sometimes these goes on sale. The NIVAC series seems to always be on sale. Don't you find that's true? It seems like when I see it, it's almost always on sale. Another idea for a Kindle version is biblical studies resources can often be pretty inexpensive. If you watch my channel, you know that I like this series, the Zondervan's Counterpoint series. This is 5 Views on Biblical Inerrancy. Regularly, volumes in this series on Kindle I often see for like $5 or $6. I've also seen sales of books in these series on Kindle on Amazon for 99 cents or $1.99. So that, biblical studies resources are another opportunity for Kindle as well. Something that I think would be neat is if someday people could buy and sell used copies of electronic books. so they would be even cheaper. That's quite the platform to be able to manage that from Amazon or wherever. But that doesn't exist, but maybe someday it will, and it will help save us a little bit of money. All right, 2 ideas related to hard copies. One involves Amazon. So this is a technique that I've used before, and someone actually mentioned it in the comment section of the previous video. So great minds think alike. I hadn't heard this before, but apparently it is an idea out there. So this would be an example. So let's say there's a commentary that you are interested in buying that has a revised edition or a second edition or an updated edition. This one right here that I just pointed out from D.A. Carson, this series is revised, but actually the Matthew volume isn't. So you can get the Matthew volume in a previous edition, the older edition of the EBC series, the non-revised version, and it's the same content. So, and there are, I think the person who mentioned in the comments in the video is talking about Douglas Moo's Romans volume in the NICNT series, which about 3 years ago came out with a second edition. But let's just say you'd be satisfied with the first edition or the unrevised edition. So I'll just use this one as an example. Let's say you know that this Colin Kruse Letters of John in the Pillar series, that this is a very well-reviewed commentary on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John. But let's just say you'd be satisfied with the original version. What sometimes happens with Amazon's algorithm is that if you put in Letters of John, Colin Kruse, you're going to get this second edition. You're going to get whatever book has been published most recent. And so it's not going to show you, oftentimes, it's not going to show you the original edition, which often has a cheaper price. So how do you find that? And if anybody knows some kind of sneaky way to search on Amazon, not sneaky, but some advanced way to search on Amazon where you can make the algorithm show you older versions, let me know in the comments section. But here's a way that I do it, is that you need the previous ISBN. So sometimes when there's a second edition like this, it'll have a different ISBN than the first edition. And so you need to get that old ISBN. What I have done is gone to websites like abebooks.com, or you can go to, I'm sure it would work on other websites where they have a massive amount of used books like Thrift Books, those kind of places. And you do a search with the author and the title and maybe the series, and it will actually show you all the different versions. So you can either get one of those older versions through that website, or you can just take the ISBN. What I do is I take the ISBN from Abe Books, I copy it, I paste it into the Amazon search, and then it will show me, the algorithm will show me the non-revised version or the first edition to that commentary. And not always, but sometimes I've seen that there's a significant price difference, and I'll just go with the first version rather than the latest edition. The trick is to just find a way to make the Amazon algorithm show you that previous edition that's at a cheaper price. Let me know if you've done that before. Like I said, someone shared that with me. Someone shared that in the comment section, and that's a technique that I've used as well. All right, this was a little bit more advanced. I'm not sure how applicable it is, but it came to mind, and so I am going to share it. Those of you who have ever searched for Peter O'Brien commentaries or other commentaries that are out of print or they've been replaced in a certain series know that commentary prices on the used market, if they're well reviewed, can sell for hundreds of dollars. So here's an example. I didn't check this one right before I started making this video, but this was true. What I'm going to say was true as of about 2 weeks ago. I noticed that the Hebrews volume by F.F. Bruce in the NICNT series, for a decent used copy, was selling for upwards of $100. And this is maybe 2 weeks ago. And so that would be like looking on Amazon and seeing one that wasn't marked in, that was at least very good condition, you're going to be paying $80 to $100 for that volume. I thought, okay, so this has happened again, and this happens a lot in the world of commentaries. The Hebrews volume in the NICNT series was replaced maybe 2 years ago. So what publishers will do with popular series in order to keep the biblical scholarship that's discussed in the volume up to date is they'll take a book out of the series and replace it with a newer volume, often by a different author. And that was the case in this series. So this is nothing against the author of Hebrews, the newer version, but a lot of people want the F.F. Bruce version because it's been so well reviewed. So what can sometimes happen is people know that the volume is really well reviewed, and so the demand is still high, but the publisher has replaced the volume in the series, so the supply is very low, and basically you have the secondary market, the used market, to work with. And I don't know how. I don't think electronic versions would still publish this book. Now, in this case, this is Erdman's publications. What Erdman does is that when it's a very popular volume, it will still publish the book, just not in the series anymore. So you can actually still get this book, probably on Amazon. I haven't checked, but you can definitely get it through the publisher's website. It just has a gray cover design, and it doesn't say NICNT series anymore. I think it just says Epistle to the Hebrews by F.F. Bruce. It's the exact same content. So some publishers will do that with a book that they're replacing in a series. But if you want basically this cover design, then you're going to be paying more money for it because the supply is just low. In this case, this example, though, is different because the publisher Zondervan doesn't consistently keep publishing volumes when they have been replaced in a series. A few years ago, I was exchanging emails with Richard Bauckham on his book, Jesus and the Eyewitnesses. And we were also discussing this commentary. So if you don't know, this is a very well-reviewed commentary on Jude and 2 Peter. On my website, based on aggregate academic reviews, I list this as the #1 commentary, best reviewed commentary from academic journals on Jude and 2 Peter. Now, what Richard Bauckham mentioned to me is that this volume is being replaced. I can't recall seeing this information anywhere else, so I'm just relying on this email and his understanding. But he told me that there was a scholar at Biola, I can't remember the man's name, but there's a scholar at Biola that's working on a revised version of Jude and 2 Peter in the WBC series. So his point was that this volume is going to be replaced. Now, so right now, this volume on Amazon is, I don't know, hard copy is, I don't know what it is. I would guess it's $20, $25. And this is one of the best, based on my calculations, this is the best reviewed volume on these two books. So the idea is to think about when a very well-reviewed commentary is going to be replaced at some point. The question is, will the price of this volume by Richard Bauckham go up because the demand is still going to be there because so many people give it such great reviews, but the supply is going to be less because the publisher has replaced it and they're not going to publish it anymore. Now, like I've said, up to this point, Zondervan doesn't have the habit of some other publishers of continuing to publish well-reviewed commentaries as standalones when they replace them in a series. Now, does that mean that when the new volume comes out, that this one book is going to be in the $60 to $100 range, like the F.F. Bruce book, or even higher, like other commentaries that have been replaced? I don't know. I don't think anybody knows that. The used market will set the price, but I think it's worthy of consideration since I know that this is going to be replaced and it's so well reviewed, maybe I should make this one, put this one on my list because I'd rather pay $20 pay $20 for it now than $100, in a year or two. And I don't have any release date, by the way, on that new volume. The only place that I have heard that is and I consider a reliable source. I mean, it's Richard Bauckham who's telling me that it's going to be replaced. So I think it's pretty reliable information, but I don't know when that's going to be. Now, so could the price go up? Possibly. Could the price not go up? I think that's possible too. And the reason I would say that is because Jude and 2 Peter are not among the most popular books of the Bible to get a commentary for. If it was something like Romans or John or Revelation or Galatians, Genesis, those are extremely popular books of the Bible to get commentaries on. And so I would definitely anticipate that prices would go up. This is Jude and 2 Peter, so I'm actually just not sure. So this exact example, I just have to say I don't know. It's possible, but when you hear about that for other well-reviewed volumes, like if Carson's volume was ever replaced in this EBC series, or Douglas Moo's in the NIVAC series, something like that, I would definitely expect the price to go up on those commentaries as soon as the supply is much lower. So, all right, let me know what your experiences are and what you think in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.